Hey, what's going on, everyone? Aaron here. Thanks for coming by and checking out another video or listening to the podcast of the Rebel Alliance. Now, today I'm pretty stoked about this video or podcast, and that's because I got to sit down and have a conversation with Wayne Hicks from Liberty Financial Association. Now, I've done a couple of videos on it already as I'm a member and we have a service office here in Connecticut. So I thought it would be very beneficial for people to actually hear what Wayne has to say about Liberty Dollar, where it's coming from, where it's going to, and in the course of this conversation, hopefully answers some of the questions you may have. Now, if you have a question that isn't answered, feel free to leave it in the comments down below and we'll get that answered for you. So thanks again for watching, and like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Enjoy this episode. All right. Today I am joined by Wayne Hicks from the Liberty Dollar Financial Association. Somebody I've been working with over the last few months. And I thought we'd dive into today's topic a little bit about what Liberty Dollar Financial is, how it operates, and the best part of it, that it's all backed by silver. So thank you, Wayne. I appreciate you joining me today.
Aaron, thank you for the chance. We're happy to spread the word. Liberty Dollar Financial Association is a private membership association that works with its members to provide them with financial services and financial security. We do this by selling silver to our members that we hold in a warehouse in Pennsylvania. That silver is then issued to them in what we call digital warehouse receipts. Creates a digital e-currency type account for them that is denominated both in ounces and fraction of ounces, and we show them the real-time spot price value, dollar value of their account. So we take the spot price of that moment, multiply it times the number of ounces and fractions of ounces they have, and show them what that silver is worth in real time. In addition, we issue paper currency that is very useful in the local markets, and our own silver coin that, while it's illegal to use that as money in the public realm, it's perfectly lawful in the private. So if you're dealing with another member of LDFA, you can literally pay them in silver. That's our motto: pay us in silver.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
We call it private money for private people. And the vast majority of our members are involved in private membership associations, unincorporated associations, and we're thrilled with the power of the PMA.
Yeah, it's as you know, that's how we got introduced. Or you saw one of the videos I did on YouTube, right. And as soon as I think we were 30 seconds into the conversation, I was like, I like what these guys are doing with the whole PMAs and the silver, and all of our members over at Liberty House have, definitely embraced it. And, we were, able to open up the first service office here in Connecticut, which was huge. And as I set up more PMAs for people and talk to other individuals about it, it just makes sense for them, so it's definitely something that needs to be done this day and age. And it's definitely nice to keep everything that we're doing in the private, outside of the overgrown government reach, I guess is the best way to put it. So how long has Liberty Dollar been around?
Well, LDFA is something almost a year and a half old. Before this, though, we had 3 years we put in as the Liberty Dollar Network. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the history of the Liberty Dollar, but back in 1998, a man named Bernard von Nothaus created the original Liberty Dollar. He issued beautiful silver 1-ounce coins that were valued at $10, which was something higher than the spot price at the time, which was around $4 or $5. And he issued paper currency that was backed by silver. And he began spreading it all over the United States, trying to introduce the concept of sound money back to America. In 5 years, up until 2003, he managed to get 5 million of it in circulation, which isn't that bad if you think about it.
Wow, that's really good.
It was really good. And then I got the opportunity to get involved with the Liberty Dollar. And I was in a little town called Berryville, Arkansas. And I liked the whole concept. I loved the idea of sound money. I loved the idea of an alternative currency. So I got my whole town taking it. I was even spending it at Walmart for like 8 months before they realized it and decided they didn't want to mess with that. They literally they never saw the money make it back to the counting room because somebody behind me in line always wanted it in their change, or the clerks would buy it right out of the cash register. It for 8 months it never made it back to the counting room. That
Wow.
was an amazing situation. Or if it did, somebody there bought it out and took it home with them. We were well known all over town, of course, that this money was available and that was being accepted. Every gas station in town took it. Every convenience store, a couple of the grocery stores, even the bigger ones that were at least local area chains, they were taking it. Um, we had we had a general store that took it. Every restaurant took it. I even opened a restaurant of my own because there was no plain old American home cooked restaurant in town. We had Chinese, Japanese, Mexican, everything else, but
Yep.
no nowhere I could sit down and get steak and eggs. So I opened a restaurant so that I could get steak and eggs. And of course, we called it the Liberty Tree Restaurant, and it took Liberty dollars, and we became a very popular little place. The This went great for a while, and then all of a sudden I get a call one day that says, hi, we're from the Learning Channel and we've heard about you and we want to send a film crew down to do a documentary. I said, what? They said, yeah, we're going to do a documentary on you and your Liberty dollars. I said, well, it's not my Liberty dollars. You need to talk to Bernard von Notehouse. So they decided to include both of us in the video, and it was part of a program they called Superstructures, which was all about banking and money and how it works. And because we were the alternative, and Paul Harvey had just done a news story about us, they wanted to include us in the production. So the film crew showed up. They followed us all around town. Bernard had been to town recently at that point and had just had a blast going around spending the money in a town where everybody knew what it was. He wasn't trying to, he didn't have to give him a sales pitch to get him to take it.
Right.
But he wasn't in town at this point. So the film crew followed a couple of my customers around while they used the money and talked to some of the businesses that accepted it and had a good time. And they talked with me quite a bit in my office. And then they went to DC. That's where Bernard was at the moment. And they followed him around with a camera while he spent money with people who'd never heard of it. And were just blown away that everybody just accepted it. They loved it. They thought it was fantastic and they took it. So over the next 3 years, till between 2003 and early 2007, we went from 5 million in circulation to over 85 million. I had groups of people coming to Berryville where I held classes on how to put the money in circulation in your own community, and then they went out and replicated what I did in their communities, and it was a fantastic thing. It was fun. um, some of the things I did back then still work today, so I'll be putting some information out about that shortly.
Awesome.
The um, Everything changed in 2007. Up to that point, you could call the Secret Service and they all of a sudden the news comes out one day on CNN and ABC and CBS and all the big mainstream news media and said the U.S. Department of Justice says it's a crime to own Liberty dollars. Absolute lie. There was no crime involved, but it scared people.
I can
Now, it didn't
imagine.
scare too many people in Berryville, Arkansas, but other parts of the country got nervous. Okay. People in Berryville, Arkansas were more like, it's the government. We don't care what they think, you know. But
Yep.
unfortunately, it did scare other people. And then they accused Mr. Von Notehouse of counterfeiting and threatened him with all sorts of things. Finally, did arrest him and charge him with counterfeiting. They never could convict him of actual counterfeiting. They did, however, convict him of what they called counterfeiting by invoking an old 1865 law from the Civil War era, 18 USC 486, makes it a crime for any person to make, utter, or pass any coin or bar of gold, silver, or any other metal, even lead, to be used as current money. Now, current money is defined by the government as whatever is the local money being used in an area regularly. Okay. So They got him for passing silver in commerce, in public commerce. That's what they did. The Department of Justice demanded that he get 27 years in federal prison. Judge Richard L. Voorhees looked at the DOJ and said, "You're off your bird." So, first off, this man did not attempt to counterfeit anything. He not only didn't want people to confuse his money with government money, he wanted people to realize that it's worth more than government money. Secondly, no reasonably intelligent adult would have considered this to be anything like legal tender. They would have
Right.
looked at it and said, "This is something different and it's real silver. That's definitely not government money." Okay.
Yep.
So he said, instead of giving Bernard 27 years, he gave him 1 year of probation. And that was the end of it.
Jeez.
Sent him home.
Unbelievable.
He then returned the 16 tons of gold and silver that the government had seized from the Liberty Dollar organization. And to this day, Bernard is still redeeming the silver certificates that are still floating around out there.
Wow.
To this day, we have people contact us, say, "Hey, I found this old Liberty Dollar certificate. We have the same phone number that's printed on it, 888-621 or 4181 or something like that."
Yep.
And we had the same phone number that he had back then. So they call us and we put them in touch with Bernard and he helps them get their silver. So he's still redeeming them to this day.
Wow.
He has quite a lot of the silver still remaining to be redeemed, but a lot of the certificates have expired, and once they expire, they can't be redeemed anymore. So
Right, because they're good for 20 years, correct?
20 years, yes.
Yep. Okay.
So whenever somebody contacts us, we try to put them in touch with them as quickly as possible.
Right.
We have a special email address we give them so that they can contact him and work on getting their silver.
That is quite the story. Wow. So you guys were really the very first alternate currency outside of just the good old barter system. You know, you guys were before Bitcoin and Dogecoin and everything else.
Ironically, there is a document that exists. I can't point to it at this moment, but I have seen it, where Satoshi Nakamoto, or whatever his name was, actually credited Bernard von Notehouse and the Liberty Dollar with inspiring the idea of a decentralized alternative currency.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes, that's at the very first Bitcoin conference in Florida. Bernard was invited as an honored guest because of that statement from back in the day when it was all created.
Wow.
And I think he just attended the Bitcoin conference last year as well.
Yep.
There's a lot involved in the history of the Liberty Dollar. That Learning Channel video, the relevant parts of it, are actually on the front page of our website now, so anybody can watch it. But we evolved now into Liberty Dollar Financial about 4 years ago. Bernard and I reconnected, and he stopped by our house. We found out we were both living in Florida at the time. So he stopped by our house while he was going out on a trip to visit old friends. And he hung out with us for the evening, and we reminisced about the good old days of the Liberty Dollar. And my wife, Kathy's sitting there looking at us like she's watching a tennis match, bouncing back and forth from us, you know.
Yep.
She wasn't around for any of that. And then he left and he went on his tour, and I kind of forgot all about that. But then he called me. He said, "I'm on the way home and I want to stop by your house again." And ironically, he launched the Liberty Dollar on October 1st, 1998. This was October 1st, 2018, when he stopped by my house again, the 20th anniversary of the Liberty Dollar.
Wow.
And he looked at me, he says, "Wayne, can't you think of some way to get the Liberty Dollar back into real life?" I said, "Well, I probably could think of something, but we'd have to have somebody to run it." And Kathy, my wife, goes, me, I'll do it. And that's how she got the job. She's the boss. She runs it. I do the leg work and the grunt work and the business development, but she's the actual boss. She just likes to put me in front of the cameras.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Again, we developed the Liberty Dollar Network, and we tried to stick to just issuing paper currency during that time. it worked, but not well, because people didn't have a way to convert back to USD when they needed it.
Right.
And so we just weren't getting as far as I wanted to. So in late 2020, we shut it. Well, early 2020, we shut down Liberty Network, Liberty Dollar Network, and began thinking about what to do. And in late 2020, we conceived of the Liberty Dollar Financial Association, constructed the PMA. It's owned by a trust. It is as safe and private and solid as it can get. And it has been growing ever since. We spent several months just developing the software of the site, and then opened it up to let people come in and start testing and try to break it. And of course, they did. They
Yeah, you
broke
got a lot of
things.
text messages from me, that's for sure.
And then just long before you.
Yeah.
And we fixed everything as fast as we could. And then we've got quite a development team now that does a real good job. And we still find the occasional glitch, but it's all getting better. At the moment, for instance, we are completely rebuilding our referrals program, because a few people have had the problem that when they send out their referral links, when people go to sign up, the referrer field is populated with whoever referred the original sender. And that's not what we want. We want people to get credit for the people they refer.
Correct.
So our development team is rebuilding the referral program today.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what he's doing right now. And he says he'll be done by tomorrow morning, and it'll be finished and working properly, and that's our goal.
That's awesome.
And then as soon as he's done with that, he's back on building the next exciting phase, which is our dashboard for our branch offices and service centers, which will help them to do what they're out to do, which is get Liberty dollars in circulation locally.
Correct. Yes, that'll be awesome. Now, if somebody wants to set up an account, is there any fees involved or anything like that to set up an account if they just want to start using this? And
there's no upfront fees at all. In fact, the fees page, you can find it in the footer on the front page, explains all the fees involved. They're very small in most cases. Once you begin actively using your account, there's a $3.95 a month account maintenance fee. But until you actually fund your account, it doesn't even start to tick. The transaction fees are very low, 35 cents when you send money, receive money. The deposit withdrawal fees are low. We try to keep it as low as we can. And in fact, we're in the process of getting some new options for deposits and withdrawals that will lower the fees and possibly get rid of some of them completely.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in the digital aspect of it, especially with what's come out with Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, where now a lot of it's getting reported to the IRS. So,
right.
And you got to pay taxes on it. So not only do I pay taxes on my dinner when I go out with my buddies, but then I got to pay taxes on the money I send them through Venmo or something like that.
Right. Yes.
So I think having the option to send it digitally and being charged 35 cents to keep prying eyes out of my personal life is well worth the money, you know?
All right. Since you said that, I have to make a statement.
Uh-oh.
We cannot in any way absolve you from any debt, tax liability, anything you've got. Okay.
Right. Correct.
The Liberty Dollar cannot do that. I have to say that because otherwise they're going to come beating my door down, and that would give them an opportunity to do so. So
right.
I have to make that statement clear. That's all over our website. It's in our terms of service, everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
We cannot in any way, use of the Liberty Dollar does not in any way absolve anybody of any tax liability.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
but we don't have to report you.
Right. And that's the same thing when I have to give people advice on PMAs. I tell them this isn't legal advice. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not giving you any tax advice. This is just what a normal person would do in this situation.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That's cool. So there is a phone app, correct?
There is. It's easy to get. You can get it. Once you're a member, you can get it at the bottom of every page in our website, and it works on iPhone or Android, either one. It'll work on a tablet. It'll work on your computer. It'll work on any platform at all.
Okay.
It's a very simple app. It's basically almost the entire website built into the app so that you can do anything on the app that you can do on the website.
Cool. Cool.
It
Very cool.
uses a QR code as a point of sale system so that if you're buying something at a store that accepts Liberty dollars and they're willing to take digital, they can show you their QR code. You take a picture of it, input the amount that you're paying them, hit the submit button, and it's done that fast. They're paid.
That's awesome. That's going to be huge for merchants here in our area. I know they're going to really like that. So the ones that
Yep.
we've talked to so far, we tell them, once you get your account set up, we'll help you do that. We'll show you how to get the QR code, put it in your window or at your cash register, that sort of thing. And that's, yeah, I think that's going to be huge for a lot of local places. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot is the security of the website. Like, how secure is it? Now, I know you and I have already had this conversation, but I feel for everybody watching this and the listeners, it's probably better for you to explain it than me try to explain it.
It's quite secure. The developers who built the website have done everything they can to make it as secure as possible from a code point of view. But the website is also hosted in the Netherlands. And the reason we chose the Netherlands is because the Dutch courts have consistently refused to allow the US to demand any information out of servers hosted in the Netherlands. Their attitude is if you want it, you come through the Dutch court and you show us probable cause. And so far, no one from the US government has ever been able to do that.
Awesome.
To date, they have always refused to allow any information.
Yep.
Just because they don't like what we're doing doesn't mean to the Dutch that we're doing anything wrong. And in fact, under Dutch law, a PMA and the type of service we offer is perfectly legal.
Awesome. That's good to know.
Yes.
That's good to know. So if somebody ourselves here in Connecticut, we have Liberty House. And now if we have members that sign up for Liberty Dollar Financial Association, they can then use those coins with other members within our PMA, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, as long as they're members of LDFA.
Right. Correct.
Okay. We can only extend that protection to members of our own PMA.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, if you add a clause to your PMA's agreement and terms and bylaws and whatever else you call it, that allows you to exchange silver in payment, then you can do so in your own PMA as well.
Okay. That's good to know. Well, maybe we'll have to add that. I'll have to talk to the trustees because that makes sense because we're trying for our upcoming events that we have going on to bring in memberships and things like that, right. we have a little thing that's set up that says we accept Liberty dollars. So we had an open mic night not too long ago and it was just for members. It wasn't open to the public for membership applications or anything like that. So we had a little RQ code set up and, encourage people to pay that way, because they can get their account very easily. It takes literally a few seconds online. It's basic information.
We had an electrician here a little earlier today, and Kathy took out one of the silver Liberty coins and dropped it in his palm and said, "Now, if you remember, we could pay you with this." And his eyes got about that big, and he said, send me the link.
That's
awesome. I can sign up. So hopefully he will be accepting silver here in the very near future.
Yep. What's the so if let's say somebody signs up for an account, they fund their account and they need to go get gas at the local gas station and it doesn't take Liberty dollars, is there a way for them to get that money out of that account and Federal Reserve notes?
There is. Now, we can't do it that quickly at this point unless they use PayPal.
Okay.
We do have PayPal available, and if somebody puts in a withdrawal request through PayPal, as soon as we see it, we'll get it done as quickly as possible and send the money directly to them. We will, in the very near future, have our own debit card. And once we have that, every member will get one. And they can literally go on the website, into the app, transfer money from their account to the debit card. It converts it to US dollars automatically, and it'll be on the card within seconds.
Oh, that'll be convenient.
That's what we're after. Yes.
That's fantastic.
It'll be on the card instantly.
That is awesome. So That's good to know. I'm glad to hear that that's coming. Now, I'm trying to think of some of the other questions. I usually have this stuff written down, but I forgot today. So, one of the other questions I normally get is, what is the turnaround time if somebody puts in an order for silver coins? Let's say they don't want to come to the branch office because Connecticut's small, but people always complain about driving. So they don't want to drive more than 45 minutes to our service office. So they want to just order it from the convenience of their home and have it shipped to them. How does that process work?
Normally, it won't be more than 2 weeks turnaround time till they actually have them. We've just gone through an unfortunate situation where we had put in an order for silver coins to meet the orders of our members, and one of the employees at the mint accidentally clashed the dies, which means they slammed them together with no silver in between and destroyed both the reverse and obverse dies. So they had to be remade, which took a week and a half. And we'll get the rest of that coin order in sometime, hopefully by the end of this week, and we can get them out to everybody.
Okay. So
we were expecting to have them sooner, but the dies got held up in shipping. So
gotcha. So this leads me to my next question. And I think we've talked about this in the past. So if there's other PMAs, people have other ministries, faith-based PMAs, unincorporated ministries, or just your good old-fashioned standard PMA, and they're like, you know what, I'd really like to have our own silver coin for our members. Is that something that they could reach out and something that Liberty Dollar could
yes.
do?
In fact, we can probably do it cheaper than they'll ever accomplish going to a mint on their own.
Okay.
Because the mint we work with gives us a really good deal on the dies. The dies, a set of dies will normally run you anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. We can get them for $1,500 or under.
Wow. Okay.
So, and yes, we can help make coins directly for your local PMA, for your local branch office, for your community. We're working on a deal right now with one of the Indian nations, to one of the Native American tribes, to actually make a special Liberty for them with one of their tribal leaders on the face instead of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
Yep.
cool.
Yep. And of course, we expect that'll spread through the rest of the Indian nations.
Yep.
So
that's awesome. Now, what are some of the things people can expect? Like, we have a branch office here in Connecticut. We've just recently gotten off the ground. I think there's going to be another one opening up in Connecticut. I'm trying to think of the other states. New Jersey now has one.
New Jersey. We know of one that's going to be opening in Texas, in Louisiana, California, and Hawaii.
Yep. Cool.
Yep.
So, and I think I talked to the Hawaii person. I think
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I've had a conversation with them out there. So what can somebody expect when going into one of these service offices or branch offices?
Well, the service center is primarily about the Liberty Dollar. Okay. You'll be able to open an account. You'll be able to sign up for membership there. The service center will help you to do that. You can make a deposit there, make a withdrawal in Liberty Dollars there, in paper currency. In most cases, you'll be able to convert to cash there, or convert cash to Liberty Dollars there. They'll assist if you need help, like with ordering the silver coins. If you need help with escrow accounts, with the term deposit accounts, which are like our savings accounts, they earn between 8 and 18% interest annually, depends on the account. And there's just lots of things that, in essence, the service center and the branch office are offering bank-like services to their clientele.
Okay.
Most of the things that a bank can do. If they need, we have a bill payment system built into the website. Some people are not tech savvy. They might need help making use of that, so that's something that a service center can help them do. Put through a request for a bill to be a check to be mailed to pay a bill. If they need help getting the app, the service center would help them get the app on their phone.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Another thing that we offer to our service centers and branch offices coming up soon is we're going to be offering freeze dried meats and meals that will keep for 25 years or more on the shelf without any refrigeration. These will be offered at the lowest prices we can manage, because one thing we know is if we're going to build an alternative economy, an alternative society, one of the things we got to deal with is making sure people don't go hungry.
True.
You know,
That's a great
so
point.
we've gotten hold of some freeze drying equipment, and it's being set up. And as soon as it's available, it'll be going out to all of our service centers and branch offices. We'll let them know how to get it, how to order it, and get it shipped in, and have it ready to sell to their customers and clients.
That's awesome. So there's at least there's some other things other than just the banking services if people need it. Because I know that's a question that always comes up in the preparedness
Yes.
committee group that we have within Liberty House. You know, we have a group of us that kind of take over the preparedness end of it. And one thing is, you know, buying stuff in bulk and canning and
Right.
freeze dried
Right.
and stuff like that. So for the average person that may not be thinking about that, this may be something that they're kind of waking up to, and they're like, oh, alternate currency, and you know, I need to be prepared. You know, we've got what's going on over in the Ukraine right now, so that might be, you know, an alternative for them to come in. Not only can I get, you know, some silver to hold in my safe at home if I want, but then I can also put some, you know, real precious food in my basement for the
Right.
next few years, which is huge.
Right.
So that's awesome. Now, Wayne, I know we're getting close to 4 o'clock here, East Coast time. I know you have other meetings tonight, and I've got to get kids
Yep.
places. So I've got to ask, you guys have somebody on your board member that's was here in Connecticut. He's played some stuff on TV. I'd really like to know how Kevin Sorbo became involved with Liberty Dollar. If it's not too long of a story.
It's not long at all. A few months ago, when we were getting ready to go live, I started thinking about how best to promote our going live and let people know about it. And I started thinking of about how to get somebody with a following to talk about it, you know? And ironically, that day that those thoughts were going through my mind, I got an email from cameo.com, where you can pay any celebrity to send a birthday greeting or best wishes or whatever to somebody else. And I thought, there's a thought. So I took a look at it, and one of the first people I saw was Kevin Sorbo. Now, I'm a big fan of Kevin's. I've met him years ago, and I'm very impressed by the things he's done, especially since he got blacklisted out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And went to producing Christian films, and
Yep.
fantastic Christian films they are. God's Not Dead and Let There Be Light, so many others.
Yeah, he's done great work.
So I paid him to put in a plug for LDFA. And in the notes, I suggested that he go sign up for an account so that, you know, when he put in that plug, he'd get the referral commissions, because we have a built-in referral program. And a couple days later, I get a video and email from him. Says, "Okay, I went and signed up for an account. I don't know what you want me to do. Send me an email." And he gave me his email address. So I emailed him and said, "You know what I want you to do is, you know, plug the Liberty Dollar, talk about how great it is, the Liberty Dollar Financial Association. Come join me with LDFA." And I saw that he opened my email about 7 times before he ever replied to it.
Yeah.
He said, "Okay, I've been crawling all over the website. I like it. Write me a script." So I wrote him a script and I sent it to him. And a few hours later, I got a beautifully done video shot on his phone, of course, that looked for all the world. I mean, it was very well done, very convincing. It was just this terrific movie star sitting there saying, "Hey, guys, you know what? I just stumbled across something fantastic. It's the Liberty Dollar Financial Association. They offer sound money backed by real silver. You got to check this out," you know? And I put that video out there, and we got responses. And I was so pleased. I sent him an email and I said, "You and me need to talk." we need to bring you on board as our celebrity spokesperson. So he called me and we chatted for about an hour on the phone. And he said, write up a contract to me. So I wrote up a contract, sent it to him. In the contract, we asked him to not only be our celebrity spokesperson, but also to join our board of directors and help us to guide this and keep it on the Christian conservative footing we want it to be on.
Awesome.
And he accepted and has been part of our board ever since. He's a busy guy. Since that time, he's already made 2 movies. He's working on another one.
He has.
This coming week, he's going to be in Alaska as the celebrity spokes or starter for the Iditarod dog sled race. Kevin's all over the place,
Yep.
and but he's a terrific guy, one of the most inspiring men. Whenever we have a meeting with him on the phone, it's just awesome to listen to this man pray for our guidance and success, and to join with him in those prayers.
That's
Terrific
awesome.
guy.
That's fantastic. That's great. Well, that is a cool story. And I know a couple people here in Connecticut were like, "Wow, that's really cool that he's backing this," because he was here with the American Frontline Doctors and talked at the
Right.
Capitol when we had that rally going on here. So that's awesome to know. Wayne, we'll definitely have to do this again in the
Sure.
future, and I will definitely be talking to you soon. But thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Aaron. You guys have a great day.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.